we've got the Continental Classic coming to an end. Last week on the show, we predicted a triple threat, the dreaded triple threat, to close out the gold block, I believe, or is it the blue block? The blue league.
Gold, I think.
Gold league, yes.
The blue's still to be determined. That's that.
Right. Okay.
Right.
Well, yes, to be determined, quote unquote. The gold block, it's everybody's tied with 12 points. So we've got Jon Moxley, we've got Swerve Strickland, and we've got Jay White, all at 12 points. Because why wouldn't they have 12 points, all of them? They're going to collide next week in the semifinals in a triple threat match. Tyler, what did you think of that, my friend? What did you think? Was it as bad as you thought it would be when we cooked it up last week on the show?
Yeah, I mean, again, we cooked it up. A lot of things in WWE, like I think we booked like the whole rest of the year from a top view like a couple weeks ago accidentally. So it's not necessarily a bad thing if you book things out and you can like call them ahead of time. My beef is still, and I would love someone in the chat to confirm this because we were kind of questioning this the other week. Like the semifinal thing like came up like 2 weeks into this tournament, right? It was not originally a planned semifinal. So, I know Zach Barber just popped in here, so I think he'll know more than others, but go ahead, Zach. Hey,
well, I mean, yes, somebody tell us whether or not that was a thing, but I don't think it was. But to your point last week, we shouldn't be wondering. Either way it goes. Okay, so we're getting confirmation that it was planned from the start, and yeah. Okay,
and I do buy it. I trust Zach on this sort of stuff.
Because I don't remember honestly. But the point is, you got to tell people. Like, we shouldn't be sitting here like wondering, was that planned from the start? Yeah. Was it not? So I really don't think it matters. Because I think you have to deliver like, hey, this is how it's going to work. And usually, though, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the G1, when they do this type of format, they cross blocks in the semifinals, right? So so number one of A block faces number two and B block.
So it used to be for a long time, it was just A and B block. There were 10 people in each block, and then the winners of each group, they just went right to the final. And now in recent years, there's 4 blocks, A through D. And I think it's A and B. The winners of those blocks face in a semifinal, and then C and D. So you add an extra layer, which is fine. But like to redo like someone else you already fought too is like the big thing of like a tournament setting. That is not ideal. Like even if you take, let's say soccer, right? That's the sport with the most like tournaments that are not single elimination, that are round robin. So like the World Cup, if there's 4 teams in a group, your team A, you face team B, C, and D, right? The top 2 teams in that thing get out. And you never are paired, like you and the other team in your group are on opposite sides of the bracket. So the only way you could ever meet again is if you meet in the finals.
In the finals,
because you just played that team. So it makes sense to not immediately play them again to get to somewhere else, right? So the logic of that is like, if you're going to do 12, you might as well done like, 20 and just do, 4 groups of 5. Like the way is constructed, like that would have been a better format. And you could have gotten with Rampage, you could have gotten it in the same amount of time too. So it just seems a little harebrained as usual from obviously the beginning and then the stories for everybody was planned out, but like this machination of like the human element and describing it and why it's like not going to limp to the finish line is a strong word, but with this semifinal, it just like takes some of that punch out of the Eddie Kingston story. It takes punch out of, Moxley defeating Swerve, and then if Swerve beats him, or if they both lose to Jay, and then obviously they have their match, that makes more sense. But it just is what it is. It's the WWE-ification of a tournament, which is why